That's Canada over to your right, and we're right now in the United States of America. We're supposed to be in Toronto right now to cover the G20 summit and the G8 summit, but we got banned from entering Canada.
We enter the wonderful great state of Canada, country of Canada. We cross the perimeter, and we're asked several times, of course, whether we have anything inside the car that we should tell them about, and of course we don't. So they help themselves.
First we were searched by the American custom agencies. They literally locked up a dog in the car that was jumping around all of our stuff. They were bothering us, whatever, they let us go.
So we passed that and we thought everything was clear. We're going through, Matt, Luke, we're all happy. We're all just, you know, upset about the smelly dog, but you know, that's not so bad, right? No, we get to another toll booth and a guy starts asking me a million more questions. And
of course they asked us to go to the side after we gave them the passports. They held our passports and they told us to get out of the car. They opened the car up.
So you know, we're standing in front of the vehicle. They open up all the doors. About like 5 custom agents, Canadian custom agents, just swarm inside the vehicle.
They search through absolutely everything inside of our bags and opened up every single piece of clothing and checked inside every single pocket, inside every single shoe, inside every single sock. And
taking out my purse, every little thing that's in my purse, all my personal items. They open up all of our bags. They're literally old nice clothes that I folded after I did laundry. I folded them all nice, ripping them out, shaking them, throwing them back down, writing everything.
And they literally went through every nook and cranny of the car, of our baggages, of our underwear, of our socks, of our hard drives, of our cameras, and our laptops to look for anything possible to make us not acceptable into Canada. They couldn't find anything.
After about 10 minutes of us witnessing them, going through every nook and cranny, ripping out things from the center console, the door pockets, underneath the seats, through the blankets that we were sleeping on, our notebooks, our daily planners, our wallets. They told us to take a seat inside, so we all sat inside, and we're all just like, feel like we're in detention in high school. And they call Matt to talk privately, and then they question Matt. He comes out, then they take Luke in, they question Luke. Luke comes out, then they took me and they questioned me.
Being interrogated. They bring us into the room, ask us these questions 4 or 5 times by 4 or 5 different people, and they're just waiting for us to slip up, waiting for us to say something wrong. And as soon as I sit down, they ask me, what group are you with? I'm like, I'm with a lot of groups, really. And then out of nowhere, he's like, what about WeAreChange? What's WeAreChange? And I was pretty surprised off the bat. As soon as I sat down being interrogated, they already knew who I was. They already knew what I was about. They were already on our website as soon as we got in the building.
They were asking me specific things about my hard drives, my laptop, my photography equipment.
And they were asking all sorts of invading questions. They even made me, they forced me to give up my password to my laptop so they could look into my laptop and find something incriminating to ban me from Canada. They couldn't find anything.
I told them time and time again that, you know, covering this kind of stuff was our passion and we don't get paid for it. They just didn't care. They just wanted to get information. They wanted to keep asking the same questions regardless of the fact that they knew that we weren't a threat. They were just kind of nitpicking, and they kept us there for as long as they could until they found something to keep us out.
It ends up that unfortunately we can't be admitted to Canada because if you have any type of misdemeanors, if you've got any type of arrestable offenses inside the United States, then they have the right to withhold your entrance for up to 10 years. So it looks like I'm barred from Canada. Luke's barred from Canada because we have an FBI record.
They went on the FBI database, and on the FBI database they found a bogus charge that I was charged with, attempting to ask Mayor Bloomberg questions about not helping 9/11 first responders. It's a bogus charge. Charges were actually dropped in that case, but he read on the FBI report saying, no, you can't enter this country because you were convicted and pled guilty to misdemeanor trespassing charge, which is untrue.
Yeah, I was arrested in 2007 at St. Anselm College in New Hampshire when I was asking Ed Polster, Giuliani's spokesman there, you know, the questions about the World Trade Center collapse and that whole CNN debacle that they ended up pressing charges for criminal trespassing. And so here, that's on my record. And then I was arrested for the Laura Bush event when I was kicked out of the event and then failed to produce identification. But the weird thing is that I've since those two events in 2007 and then 2008 when I was arrested, I've been to Canada quite a few times, twice now on business, and this time, for pleasure, I wasn't able to enter their wonderful country. I've been to Edmonton, I've been to Toronto.
You got arrested, went to Canada twice, no problems. We go together to cover the G20, we get banned from Canada for almost 10 years now on a technicality. They banned journalists from covering one of the most world important events on a technicality. They're afraid of us exposing the true meaning of the G20, which is controlled by the Bilderberg members, and they banned us. Now we got to get an impossible document, a disposition from the FBI that the FBI says doesn't exist, in order to enter Canada, not even now, but within the next 10 years. So for the next 10 years, if I want to enter Canada, I got to get a document that's impossible to get. Because I filed the Freedom of Information Act with the FBI, with my name, and they wrote me back a letter stating, oh, we don't have no documents with Luke Radowski at all, no. Then we go here, custom agents come out and only say, oh, we have your FBI report sheet here. It says you're arrested questioning Michael Mayer Bloomberg, weren't you? It's like, yeah, but those charges are being dropped as we speak. They're like, yeah, we don't care. You're not allowed into Canada. They also told us if we try to come back to Canada without this FBI disposition, that we would be detained for days and face a judge and face criminal charges for trying to re-enter Canada without an FBI disposition. So best of luck to everybody out there, especially Charlie Veitch, who was just arrested bullhorning in the streets of Toronto, Canada. And we wish we were there to have his back and expose all the horrible things that are going down there, to show the people the truth, not the mainstream media spin that we're giving by the 5 conglomerates that control everything we see in here on mainstream media.